Welcome to the first inaugural episode of Vanpla Cast. I am your co-host Dan,
and I'm your other co-host Hayden.
And we just like to take this first episode to introduce ourselves to you guys.
Can you be a bit more stiff?
Like in what regard? Like yeah, my name's Dan. That's Hayden.
Yeah.
We're starting this podcast so we kind of can give a not just Vanpla members but also a Gunpla builders around the world a kind of chill, relaxed podcast to throw on while you're building or going to work or at the gym and stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's already busy enough for the day. You barely have time to build Gundams. So
100%.
It's always good to have something in the back, right?
Especially where we are over in Vancouver. You know,
Yeah.
I feel for you guys in San Fran and New York too. Gotta hustle, right?
Dude, they got like hella cool shit there. They got like BuildCon in San Fran.
Yeah.
And it's like no longer partnered up with like anime conventions or whatever.
Dope. So it's just a building convention.
Dude, it's just a building thing. That's fucking spectacular. I really want to go there one day, but I have no idea how it went.
Yeah.
I saw Adam Savage's like YouTube video. I'm like, oh shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. But Vancouver here, West Coast.
Yep.
Kind of just
represent.
Just really, really chilled out here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I Vanpla has been here for quite a while, right? Like
I think it's the 10th anniversary, is it not?
Yeah, we say that, but off the record, like we don't know, Like I've been there almost since the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to keep track. I mean, we take photos, but I have no idea when those photos were out.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. When did you join Vanpla again?
I joined Vanpla, I believe Anime Revolution 2017, but 2017. I think earlier in the year I went to a sale at Imperial Hobbies, and shout out to Brian Kwa for mentioning Vanpla.
Oh shit! Did he actually refer you? Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
He planted the seed in my head, and talked about Gundams, and made me really want to get involved with the community. So when I found out that Vanpla was a thing and he was a member, it was like, oh cool. And now I've done stuff for Vanpla on and off.
Yeah. You've done some previous work for us.
I have. You're very welcome.
I'm not a shop owner of Vanpla or anything.
No.
I've just been here for a long time. So
neither of us own shops. So if you try and holla at us,
we just did this voluntarily.
Yeah, exactly. Although, hey, if you're listening and want to sponsor our cast too,
I think that's too. Well, fuck that.
I think it's pretty ambitious right now because I think I'm correct in saying that we're just like here as a couple buds just trying to
just chill out, man. Honestly, there's a lot of things we always talk about, but I'm like, I feel ashamed that we didn't fucking record that.
Yeah.
Like we just had I think we just had like an hour productive conversation before this podcast even started. And I'm just like, oh god, dude.
That's just the nature of podcasting, bro.
Oh, dude. That sucks. But it's fun. I am very enjoying this right now. We are currently in Vancouver Library.
Yep, the central branch of the Vancouver Public Library. Shout out.
Are they funded by the government?
I think so, by the city government.
Awesome. So if you are a citizen in Vancouver, take advantage of this.
Yeah, no, this creative lab that we're in, you have access not only to the audio equipment that we're using, but also to video
programs too,
video editing software, and like we're using this space for a podcast, but you can totally use this space to
do anything, really.
Yeah. And the cost of entry is just your library card,
Yeah, and it's sign-up's free. I hope people know that libraries are they're free.
You know what's one of my favorite things about the library is it's one of the last places in North America that's like a public place where you can go chill out and you're not expected to spend money, right?
That is crazy to think about.
Because like if you go to a mall, well, you
want to sit down at Starbucks, you better buy a fucking drink.
You want to go to a I'm just perusing around some shops and stuff. Gotta stop by the food court and grab like a
like a meal
or something, right?
Yeah.
So
you could always prep your food and come here and just
exactly.
We were talking about how good the fucking Asian continent is, and their Gunpla game's like way fucking higher than our shit. It's kind of embarrassing, but
we'll catch up though.
It's the truth. Yeah. You keep thinking that, all right? You keep thinking that.
You know what? I like this. You're kind of the more realistic, cynical guy. I'm the happy-go-lucky.
I think
optimism.
I feel like I'm a optimistic cynic.
Yeah.
Like I know, that shit in Char's Counterattack. You watched Char's Counterattack? You did, right?
I watched parts of it.
Oh, okay. It's not really a spoiler, but
no. I know how it ends.
I mean, obviously, unless you're a fucking idiot, you know Amuro and Char fight, right? I swear to fucking God, I hope you know that. But
it's a bit.
There was this one line that Amuro says, like, if you want to have a working, like anything to work out, it has to have a compromise. Like idealists and realists must come together.
Exactly.
And that's just a common occurrence even in like building model kits.
Exactly.
You have a vision of something you want to do, like you want a fucking panel line, or maybe you want proportions.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, depending on your schedule and stuff like that, you might not have the time, right? But that's the beauty of it. It's whether or not you want to create that deadline.
Exactly.
Right? So people can take as long as they like, but that's,
I know
it's just like that.
Yeah. I know I've been working. It's been a couple years since I've really gotten anything like really finished. Just because like you build as a hobby, right? And your life kind of happens around that, and life should take priority when it needs to, right?
Oh yeah,
and just
definitely.
Yeah, I tried to have a deadline for the next Pacific Northwest show, which for those of you who are unfamiliar will be taking place at Anime Revolution Winter at BCIT on Saturday, January
25th, I think.
25th is the date that I have remembered too. So
there's a preconception of like those contests and events. I feel like there's a lot of public confusion about that. I think the main thing is that people see contests as a kind of like a competition. I mean, in a way it is, but the thing is, I wouldn't say there's much, like, it's just it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like glory itself isn't something that it should be sought after. Entering into a contest, you shouldn't always think you'll win or something like that, because once you enter, if you win, great. If you don't, great, because it's a learning opportunity.
Exactly.
People just feel like especially people who want to perhaps improve in their hobby. If they want to stay casual, that's perfectly fine. It's your fucking money. It's getting time, right?
Exactly.
But for people who want to maybe improve, maybe later down the line, it doesn't have to be today, just like life, there's a lot of skills to learn, right?
Exactly.
If you want to improve, then you have to not be afraid to show your work, even through online and stuff like that. And if people rip it, that's perfect, because as long as they tell you why you're messing up, there's room for improvement everywhere.
Exactly.
And the worst thing is if you do shit and people don't tell you shit.
Exactly.
That's the worst part. So that's why I feel like I recently read this Reddit post or something like that, and this guy built something, but he didn't really want to. He didn't want criticism or any kind like that, because he felt very defensive, right? But I think that's fine. It's fine to always think like that. It's always fine, because you put so much hard work into something like that, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody tells you that it's bad, then you get crushed. But I think it's all about the mentality. You have to just press through it, figure out what's wrong, if you want to improve. If you don't, it's chill.
Yeah.
Come on, bring it on to the contest at Pacific Northwest show. That's what's it? I don't know. The acronym's a bit weird. I think we're gonna have to call it like the Vanpla show or some shit like that later down the line. But
oh yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. But
shout out to Vanpla admins if you guys are gonna listen to this.
No, I don't think they will. These people have lives, man. I got a life. I might not even listen to this after. I ain't got time for this shit. But if you guys are still around, thank you for sticking by.
Yeah, thanks for listening to us. And
please sand that seam line, dude. Get that shit out.
When in doubt, just if you ever look at your build and what can I do? Sand and check for low spots, man.
Hey, man, baby steps, Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with fucking baby steps.
Exactly.
If you take enough fucking baby steps, you take a single fucking human step, and that's really what's important.
Exactly.
You have to just try, right?
I'd say don't bite off more than you can chew either.
Yeah.
I've got ideas for. I think I've talked to you about this, and I'll save it for when I'm ready to put it out on the podcast. But I know this idea that I got.
Yeah.
I'm just not at a stage as a builder where I'm ready to do it. So
you can accept that fact and then. Never see it as something that is insurmountable or impossible.
Exactly.
See it as something. It's the journey.
Exactly.
Right. It's like I'm not sure if people play fighting games, but there's a term for that. It's called the journey, where it's getting better and.
You're not going to be playing Law in Tekken forever, just button mashing A forever and ever and ever,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Eventually you're going to learn someone like Majima or.
Yeah. And that's I think also what sets off people who are just getting new into this hobby. They're scared about this aspect, and they're scared that Vanpla is something that promotes something like this. And the thing is, we kind of do, but at the same time, no. This is a networking club.
Yeah,
it's just to meet other people who also watch the show and who also want to build. Yeah. They just want to chill out, dude. You don't want to think about how to get better. The thing is, just bring your goddamn kit. Half the people at these meetings that I still attend them. I might be, doing my own thing over there, but people out there, they're just snap fitting kits together. They're having a good time. Exactly. I think that's what matters the most. It's you don't want to fucking think about your grind. You know what I mean? You just kind of want to just
don't overthink it.
Right? Yeah, it's just a.
I mean, at Vanpla, I know the policy's kind of like a hey, if you want to improve, we'll show you how. But if you want to, stick to this level that you're comfortable at, then do with what you're comfortable at, man. At the end of the day, you're building plastic robots for fun, man.
You're building robots.
Exactly.
I mean, you're building fucking.
It's not it's
children's robots.
It's not like you're doing heart surgery for fun or.
Yeah, there's really no one should overstress about building model kits.
Exactly.
And if you decide to, bring your stuff, bring your creation, bring it to the show, all the better. No one's gonna judge you. If you want to be judged, be asked, right?
Yeah. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Most people know what they're saying when they give advice and stuff, and
Yeah. Also, it's not like every Vanpla member's a goddamn
genius.
Deity or genius.
No,
or
we're not.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're very far from it. And I think
if you see me at a meet and you're like, "Hey Dan, check out this really advanced
you
technique
might be eating
that
a
I
fucking
did."
Subway sandwich. Or do you eat Subway?
As time to time.
Okay.
There's a time and a place, but since I've been.
Yeah, but I'm saying I eat during. Most of the meetings,
if I've got my coffee in my hand and I'm checking my phone for oh hey buddy boy, I've got this meme for you, and you're just like, hey Dan, look at this, and I'll be like, yeah, that's a cool thing you got there, I really. I got into hobbyist stuff when I was a teenager playing Warhammer 40,000.
Oh, dude, that shit was my jam. It was actually my jam?
Yeah.
Because I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
I was
I knew. I was on the opposite end of the spectrum. I knew too much about it. And dude. I got burnt out by, I love 40K's lore and aesthetics and the models and everything.
Yeah.
But the gameplay can kind of get I get how it's fun because it was fun for me for a while, but game balance and stuff getting tied into the you're making tangible models, but they're getting nerfed and buffed like there's something in a video game. You kind of
yeah. It's like, are there like new rule books that establish like new ways to play or something like that?
Kind of, yeah. And I was
okay.
playing back in 5th edition, and by the end of 5th edition, I was burnt out because that was and I feel like a lot of people got burnt out by 5th because a lot of the lore, like, got nonsensical. The meta stagnated to everyone has to be in a transport. If you don't transport your troops, then like you're done. And when you've got a $40 box of guys and a you have to buy a $60 transport for them now, like saying you're gonna be spending $40K on $40K, that's just
when I heard the $40K name, and this, by the way, I'm not sure if you remember this, but before Vanpla started, I think definitely over 10 years ago, I was at the fucking Metropolis Comics and Toys back when it was still right beside Toys R Us.
Gotcha.
And then beside Toys R Us was a fucking Games Workshop.
I remember that Games Workshop.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Oh
my god, it was a Vancouver like Burnaby gem.
I found my.
That's the only reason why I went to Metrotown back then. Now I barely go now.
Yeah. Metrotown's just, there's such a good concentration of Gunpla and hobby stuff around there. Like
that is a pretty well dispersed area now. Yeah.
I think if you're in the Vancouver area and you're looking for like, or if you're coming to town from like say Victoria or the States, you're like, hey, I want to, I've got a little bit of spare time on my business trip or whatever. I want to check out some of the Gunpla shops. I mean, by all means, check about around town and ask the Vanpla Facebook group, but.
It's everywhere.
There's quite a bit in Metrotown,
and
Burnaby,
that's crazy. It's Metropolis Comics and Toys, the one that is now across the street from the mall, used to be right beside the Toys R Us inside the mall. Yeah. So those guys, they moved out, but like Games Workshop was there.
That Games Workshop was nice because
that was crazy. I saw like
for my
bunch of them. I saw a bunch of it.
14th
crazy stuff.
No, I think my 15th birthday or so. I had enough money from like, birthday stuff. To go out and buy what was called a Space Marine Strike Force.
Is it?
And like normally a Space Marine, like a battle force for 40K. Like I don't know if this is like 100% up to date now, guys, but back in my day, you spent like $100 and you had an army out of the box good to go.
Yeah.
But a strike force was like you basically had a battle force was like maybe a drop pod and a rhino, a Space Marine commander, and a couple squads of tactical Marines, right?
Yeah.
A strike force was like almost a whole company setup where you had like 5 squads of tactical Marines with a rhinos and dreadnoughts and stuff, and
that sounds a lot like buying. You know what 40K reminds me of when I first started hearing about it and I saw it in the thing. I saw these little checkered looking ass dudes.
Yeah.
I was like, is this just chess? Like I thought it was just like chess pieces that were just fancy looking.
I mean,
but then like he put out like fucking 40 of them. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. No, it's some like huge nerd battle.
Man.
But yeah.
I mean, you could go
those
and
are cool.
look
They
at
remind
just
me
like,
of like StarCraft.
StarCraft and
like the Marines and the Dragoons.
Yeah.
The StarCraft 1 like Brood War shit.
Dude, there's a bit of a mostly in the 40K community more than the StarCraft community. There's a bit of a hey, Blizzard, you kind of
took our shit.
You kind of jacked our style. And
yeah. Oh, okay. Now I remember. The guy who referred you, Brian.
Yeah.
So I was chilling at his house, and he built like a lot of Warhammer stuff.
Nice.
So he had a lot of that cool stuff, and he even made Hydralisks from it. So he kit bashed like
out of like Tyranids and stuff.
I think so. Yeah. He was telling me like there were series that were made, and then he kind of saw like the correlation. Like it's very similar to this unit from 40K and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So maybe that's why. But
I think so. Yeah. Plus the orc designs are pretty similar if you look at Warcraft and Warhammer Fantasy.
Right.
But I think aesthetics is the only thing from Fantasy that Warcraft gypped, because after a man, we really went off on this Warhammer tangent, but hey guys, this is just to remind you, this is a podcast about Gunpla or something.
Vanpla isn't really like Gundam centric anyways. It like, just so happens that everybody's building Gunpla, and it's because Bandai is just so fucking good at churning them out.
Bandai is like the thing. Here's the thing: is like after 40K, I wanted to scratch my model kit building itch a few years after I got burnt out, and I started looking at like Meng 1/35 scale stuff and military modeling, and that was kind of similarly priced. You know, like a good kit's gonna cost you like about.
It's a good kit, and it's hard to assemble.
It's good kit, hard to assemble, but it's also like expensive.
I
to this day I still want to get a Leopard 2A4 I think from Meng, and they go for about $108 or so, even at like
you could buy like 2 master grades with that almost.
Exactly. And that's the thing is like
that's fucking nuts.
When I first saw the first Gunpla kit I ever got, well, no, the first one I got was a high-grade Jesta, and I was like, okay, this is cool. But the first one that made me fall in love with Gunpla was the high-grade Zaku 2 FZ from War in the Pocket.
That with high-grade kit?
Yeah, with the terrible shoulders.
That kit was phenomenal.
I loved it.
It's actually one of the best high-grades I've built. It's crazy.
The problem I have with it after building like 3 of them is the way the polycap and the plastic connect. It's got this weird shoulder joint.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. The one that pivots forward, right?
Exactly. And
yeah.
If you ham-hand it like a big gorilla like me, it's like, yes, look at this post. Oh no, what happened? You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like gluing it in. I mean, like I can fix it now, you know, but like I haven't finished anything, but that doesn't mean I haven't been doing nothing for like 2 years, guys.
Yeah.
I can fix it now and make it work now, probably reinforce it with some plot plate or something. But yeah, it's despite that, you got a kit for like $20 Canadian, which coming from a 40K background
is unheard of, right?
Is absolutely unheard of. It comes like generally like molded in colors out of the box, and I was blown away.
Yeah, it's because there's like Warhammer has that play value to it, right?
Oh yeah, part of the 40K aesthetic, like even if you don't like convert your models and you just build them out of the box, you still get that personal expression,
right,
by painting them yourself.
Yeah. And I think that personal expression is kind of what drawn me to build models in the first place.
Exactly.
I felt like if it's something that I want to build like let's say I like one of my favorite suit designs is the new Gundam and the RX-78 too, right?
Good choices.
If you didn't know, Amuro's my fucking guy, but
Amuro is the guy.
Yeah.
Sorry to put a Bananager on blast. Bananager, but
I like to
Amuro,
put him in a fucking duct tape right now.
Yeah, if I could if I could take like the Unicorn Gundam and paint it yellow and duct tape it to the wall.
A yellow unicorn. Oh wait, we have that. It's called the Phoenix, right? Oh shit. Yo, we just got like light banana color.
Exactly. That could actually work. My thing is when I was really getting into
the horns can be like the banana.
Yo!
Oh shit.
Man.
We
gotta do that.
Yeah.
Radio.
So stupid. Oh my god.
Hey, if someone's listening and wants to enter into GBWC, put in a banana Gundam.
Yeah.
Like unicorn with the bananas.
GBWC is the Gundam World Cup thing. It's called Gundam Builder World Cup, right?
Gundam World.
Yeah. So for you guys who don't know, every year there's always a contest, and they on the PR thing they say it's the best of the best. The best of the best of each country from 16 different countries go and compete. I had like a weekend stay at a shitty hotel in Tokyo.
Is it a shitty hotel?
It's all right. I heard the accommodation's actually okay. You get a free flight there, so you go to Odaiba, you see the Gundam unicorn. So there's no point because I like the RX more.
Bring back the RX-78 Japan. Like I know, I know that
I really miss that.
Like here's the thing. Quick tangent from GBWC because we'll go into that, but. In terms of personal preference, I think the RX-78 is hands down to this day either
the most revolutionary robot ever designed.
Oh my
by
god,
man.
yeah, 100%.
Well, that's how Tomino felt. Tomino is the director of Gundam. If you guys didn't know.
I think because it straddles the line between real and super robots so excellent.
It's like you know what it is,
it's very sleek and nicely designed, and like a gripe I have with other.
Okawara certainly did a fucking fantastic job.
Oh god, Okawara is like my main man. Like you go back and read those MSV books.
All the Seed stuff is by him too.
Yeah, no,
like a lot of them actually
Seed,
is by Okawara.
The story. I'm sorry if you're a Seed fanboy, but it's not for me. I think it's a bit.
Seed's okay.
Yeah.
Destiny was the one I didn't really like.
Yeah. Destiny's the one that
what?
Everyone doesn't like.
It's kind of ironic because I got into Gundam through fucking YTV Bionics. Dude, they were playing fucking Gundam Seed Destiny.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I remember.
What the fuck is this?
I remember Gundam.
Because the only robot back then I knew was Doraemon.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, so like,
wow.
I
mean, like
a bit of background for me. I'm Chinese, so I'm from China, and what they did back then before they did like they do like their own kind of media stuff now.
Yeah,
but back then they basically imported a lot of Japanese animation.
Yeah,
and they air it. And I'm lucky enough because I get to see the Hong Kong program, TVB. And I just watched a lot of stuff. My first robot was Doraemon, and then it was Gear Fighter Dendo.
Ooh,
and that, like, nobody fucking knows what that is. It took me, it was not until, like, I almost graduated high school that I was like, oh, that's Gear Fighter Dendo? That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Because I didn't remember. It was just like, oh, it's just like a unicorn. So basically it's just mystical animals. Yeah. And then like the pilot needs to be like Pacific Rim stole it from Dendo. You need two pilots to pilot the suit, and like they both need to insert their like thing to be in sync together.
Yeah.
And then like their weapons, it's like he has a regular hand. He's like a brawler looking ass dude.
Yeah.
But if you like put the chip in for the unicorn one, a fucking unicorn mecha will show up, and his head will fucking fly off, and it becomes like a drill for the guy's hand.
Oh,
it's so fucking crazy. It's so stupid. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then like there was like I don't remember much of the plot, but like there was like another Dendo dude, and those two would just beat the shit out of like aliens or something. That was like a common super robot trope. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like the '90s resurgence of super 90s robots, right?
Like Gal Gaigar and like a lot of when I grew up, the big robot influences for me was like I got hit with the double whammy Bionicle Transformers.
Dude, I did too. Mine was the spider dudes.
Like before
Baraka.
Oh yeah, the Borak.
Yeah, that was my. I'm pretty young, so.
But before before 2001 and stuff. I mean, like, I don't know. Can you classify Thomas the Tank Engine as a mecha anime?
I mean, it's not a. I mean, it is a super robot.
Yeah.
It's a sentient kind of robot being, right?
Yeah.
That it's not really is it a robot?
I guess so. I mean, it's like machinery.
It's with character. All these modern memes of Thomas the fucking Train Engine. You fucking know it's a mecha now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so scary. Do you see the one where like it's like a spider?
Oh yeah.
Spider legs, and it is like Thomas, and he's like fucking chasing like some kid. It's like that Toy Story 2.
And so, like, exactly. The baby.
Yeah, the baby walking thing. Yeah, it's
so
scary.
After, Thomas, which debatable, I got hit with the double whammy of Transformers Robots in Disguise, which was car robo in Japan that they brought over for North America, and a Bionicle from Lego.
Yeah.
And those two really like still affect me to this day. Like I've got a Bionicle collection.
You got hella Transformers, dude.
I've got hella Transformers.
The only dude I know was like, hey, I know Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I know Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
And some like Ratchet ass guy named Ratchet.
Yeah.
Sir, was that an earthquake? Sorry, in the studio there was a sudden shake.
I think someone just really slammed the door.
Dope.
I don't know how can you slam these doors? Anyways, but when I grew up, after Robots in Disguise lasted for like a year, it was a Japanese collaboration with Hasbro.
Diaclones, right?
It was Transformers Armada, where they brought in like the mini-cons.
Yo, okay,
and like those toys were absolutely bricks, but the designs are like really cool. Probably my favorite Starscream.
I heard Takara was the ones that made the mold, right, for the first gen toys.
For going back into Transformers history, Diaclone I think spun off from Micromen, and Micromen were a like Japan got G.I. Joes, and kind of eventually it evolved into Diaclone with these little robot pilot figures, and originally the Transformers were just like nameless robot suits that could transform.
It was common object kind of ordeal, right?
Where and it was two separate lines too, like Diaclone and Micromen. Diaclone was supposed to be like small scale models, and Micro Change was supposed to be the one that where like these are inanimate objects, but they're like 1-to-1. So like the original Soundwave toy or Megatron, it was like they were supposed to be small, and that's what they transformed into. And like all the little Transformers with like Bumblebee, like why Bumblebee looks so cartoonish and why he's an absolute engineering nightmare to design.
Oh, was he?
Well,
it's that Beetle, right?
For like a Masterpiece figures that they're going for a 100% show accurate stuff, which Takara, you're doing this with Generation 1 where they can't even stay on model for like one scene. Like what are you doing? It's because boomers make more than millennials. That's why they haven't given me Armada 2.0 yet.
Did you grow up watching Armada?
I grew up watching Armada, and like
that's the one with the small little dudes, right?
The small little dudes that
there's like a humanoid thing, and and the guy looks. You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
They look hella anime, dude. Back then, the cartoon.
It's cause it was a Japanese production.
It was.
Yeah,
oh, okay, I see. First time
after Beast War
was the one where I was like completely just personally like I know the plot's probably really good, but when I first saw it as a kid and I didn't know anything, and Optimus Prime turned into a fucking gorilla Neanderthal, I couldn't fucking take it anymore. I'm like, hey, what happened to him, man?
Yeah, what happened?
Why?
You want to be Trump?
Wait. He turns into a fucking T-Rex, right? That Megatron turns into a T. That is some crazy wacky shit. But I know a lot of people really like that show. So
it's honestly one of the best written Transformer shows. Yeah? There's 3 that are held up, and I'm gonna go in my personal order of a
not controversial.
Yeah, not controversial.
But the movie should be everyone's like top, right? Is that true?
The original 1986 movie.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Really well animated, but you can tell they were under crunch time, and like some things will just like Ultra Magnus.
That song is like iconic as fuck,
dude. Ultra Magnus gets the Matrix from Optimus Prime, and as he like opens up his chest, he literally like leaves the Matrix floating there as he like finishes opening it up, and then he puts it back. Like it's jank. And like I don't want to send anyone into it thinking that it's not going to be jank, but it's also got some of the best animation out there from like back then. Like I love it, but that's just my nostalgia. But the 3 best shows for Transformers, I think, in order of their writing, is I'd say number 3, Transformers Prime.
I like the Swatch Mojo list already.
Pretty. They've got a pretty cool aesthetic straddling between like kind of cartoony and the live action stuff.
Okay.
Then you've got Beast Wars, which is like really, expanded the lore and stuff and introduced a lot of things that are like commonplace on Transformers now. Right. Like sparks are their souls. All right, that wasn't a thing before Beast Wars. And then number top, mine has got to be Transformers Animated.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's actually
it's
recent one, right? More recent.
It's actually like 12 years old now, going on 13.
Oh my god, I remember that aired on TV.
Yeah,
I was like, it looks pretty cool. It's like a stylish.
It's very version. Cartoony North American style.
Their toys look pretty stylish too.
Toys were phenomenally well designed.
Damn.
And it's got a lot of like heart and soul put into the story of it that like I absolutely love. Like it's great to. They reinvent a lot of things, like Optimus Prime, instead of being the stoic good leader, blah blah blah. He's younger and more brash, and he's trying to do the right thing. But he's working with a group of bozos and stuff, and
it's the journey.
It's the journey. It's.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Transformers Animated is my favorite. But hey, if you have more other favorite, it's the best one, I think. My personal favorite's actually Transformers Cybertron, but that's because Cybertron's basically a super robot show.
Is there one called Energon?
Yes.
How was that one? I think I watched that one.
It's pretty commonly like thought of as the most jank out of all the
really?
Toy line was solid,
right?
But the plot line and the animation, like,
right.
After the second half, like, Armada had a bit of a rough first half for animation. But after season 2, they're like, oh, wow, we really dialed it in, Unicron and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then Energon is like, we have no time. And this is they switched to CGI. It was rough.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. You can look at Transformers and Diaclone and stuff and get a lot of really cool reference for Gunpla designs.
Yeah, I think it kind of crosses both ways. All the industry people kind of or know each other, I think.
Yeah.
But that's a topic for another time.
We've rambled on for a good
40
hot minute. Wow, really? Wow.
40, yeah.
Well, all right.
Well, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Once again, I'm Dan.
Hayden.
And thanks for tuning in to the inaugural episode 0.
Just a random ramble.
And this kind of sets the tone for for the Vanpla Cast going forward. Is I think we're gonna.
Well, we'll be more structured
we'll
based on your needs.
Yeah, depending on the feedback, and just thanks for listening, guys, and have a wonderful
New Year.
Yeah,
right?
New Year, new decade. Whoa!
Oh god!
If we get this out before New Year's,
that's not even funny, dude. Fuck, kill me.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.